everyone, welcome back to my Scratch channel. In today's video, I'll be making a video to show you guys how to make a drag and drop game where you could grab an object, move around with it and also release the object and it stays there. And I'll also be showing you guys how I did the movement mechanics and also making sure that the player cannot go out of the screen. Anyways, let's get straight into the video and Merry Christmas. Alright, so we're gonna start with the movement. So go to variables, delete the my variable, make a variable and call it x velocity. And make one for the y as well and make sure both of them are for this sprite only. Alright, so now that we have our x velocity and our y velocity, we could begin coding. So when green flag is clicked, then we're gonna put a forever block and we're gonna put two if then blocks below. So if the key left arrow is pressed and as well the same thing with the right arrow, we're gonna change velocity by 1 and for right arrow we're gonna change it by -1. And then we change x by x velocity. We did the movement, but we have a problem. If we even press the button a little bit, it will keep going in that direction and it doesn't change at all. If we went to 0, 0 when green flag is clicked, this is what happens. Yeah, we do not want that, so how do we make it so that our velocity goes down? So we're gonna need to put two set x velocity to blocks. The first one will be 0, of course. We want our x velocity to be 0 when the green flag is clicked so that we won't have that glitch. And then for the bottom one, we're gonna put a multiplier block, x velocity multiplied by 0.9. Now our movement is perfect. We could go left and right and it always stops us. This is perfect movement for left and right. Now how do we do the same for up and down? Well, we could basically just copy and paste the whole script and just do it for the y velocity. And boom, just like that we have up and down movements, but we have a problem. Our player could just go out of the screen like this and we could barely see them if they do. So how do we stop the player from going out of the screen? So we're going to go in a position where we don't want our player passing, for example right here. If I didn't want my player to pass this point, we're gonna look at our x. Currently it is 173. So in the forever block, we're gonna put a if then block, a if x position is over 173, then put a repeat until, then a not block, and we just copy the paste the code we have up there and put it in here. Change x by -1. And now let's test it out. So it does not let us pass, but it kind of makes our character twitch. How do we fix that? And we can also see it pushing ourselves out. So how do we make it so that we don't see that and it doesn't make us twitch? The one and only solution needed is to make a block. I'll call the block push out player. And make sure you click run without screen refresh. Now just put in the X position block up here and put a push out player right here. Now we have our problem solved. It does not let us pass through and we do not twitch at all. That is perfect. But the problem is we also have the same problem even with the other sides because we only made it for this wall specifically and not the other walls. And the easiest solution is just copying and pasting this. So I'm going to make it -103 is over x position, which is what we don't want. We have a problem. If we were to run this script, it would absolutely glitch out Scratch because it's change x by -1. We don't want to go any more of that side. Hit 1 instead. And now we cannot go through left and right walls. But up and down is a different story. Now you pretty much just want to repeat this cycle for your up and down as well. It's basically the same thing, but you need to measure the Y differently than the X because they have two different tops. And boom, just like that, we have already finished all the collisions and we cannot go out of the walls. This is perfect. We pretty much have most of it done and it was very easy. So now we need to work on the drag and drop part. So for the first time, we're gonna change our Scratch Cat costume. So delete the Scratch Cat and I'm just gonna replace it with a arrow. So now we are an arrow and we can make a new sprite. For now, I'm just gonna make the next sprite a square. So for the square to follow us, it's going to need to know what our X velocity is and our Y velocity is. But we set those for this sprite only. It's okay, we could do a current X velocity block, same thing with the Y, and make this one for all sprites. And in the forever block, we're gonna set current X velocity to the X velocity. Same thing with the Y velocity. Now the current X velocity and Y velocity is the same thing. And we can use this to make our block come with our player. When green flag is clicked and a forever block, change Y by current Y velocity. And same thing for the X velocity. Now when the green flag is clicked, it kind of moves with our player, but nothing stops it and it kind of is glitchy. So how do we fix that? To begin, put a go to 0x and 0y block. So now our player and our box matches out this forever block. The reason we took it out is because we don't want it to be forever following it, but only when the player wants it to follow it. So in our main sprite, we're gonna code in a if-then block. If touching sprite 2 and key space, for example, is clicked, broadcast follow. And put in a when I receive follow. So now whenever we're touching the square and we're clicking space, now it will follow us. This is exactly what we wanted, but we cannot let go of the square. Don't worry, it's a simple code. If then another key is pressed, for example, our key is pressed, and then stop this script. So now if we grab the block, it will follow us, but if we click the R key, it doesn't anymore. And we can still grab it again. So for now it's going good, but we still have a few problems. The first one being the box can go through the walls that we cannot. And this could make the box be far from the player. So we're gonna have to make another variable for this. Current X position for all sprites. Set current X position to X position, and in the forever block set X to current X position, and we can take out the change X by block. So now it will never leave the current X position, but it's kind of in our arrow. How do we make it so that it goes up a little bit and gets out of our arrow? So we're gonna have to make a block with run without screen refresh, and I'm gonna call it push out of player. If touching sprite 1, and then we put push out of player. So in our push out of player block, we're gonna put a repeat until not touching sprite 1, and just put a change Y by 1 block. So now as soon as we click the space key, boom, it's on top of our arrow, and no matter what we do, it can never leave. Now, for the final thing we're doing today, we're gonna make it so that whenever we're holding the block, it rotates. So we're gonna make a variable called direction for this sprite only. So in our forever block, we're gonna put in a point in direction and then the direction block. And then we're gonna change direction by 1 in the forever block. And make sure when green flag is clicked, the direction is already set to 90. So now we can test it out. And perfect, our direction looks pretty good. When we release it, it still stays that way. Anyways, this is all we needed to do for today. Thank you so much for clicking into this video. I hope you and your Scratch journey goes well. Merry Christmas. Make sure you like and subscribe and share the video to anyone else who might need this. Thank you for watching. See you all next time.